So you want to open a studio? Good fucking luck. Hey guys, it's Kevin Antresian over at Backroom Studios. It seems like every day one of my friends is opening up one of their own studios, and that's awesome. But a lot of people don't really realize what it takes to maintain and keep it going. So right off the bat, the first thing that comes to mind is cost. And that doesn't just mean the cost of gear, that's just like the smallest thing in the giant equation. For starters, you gotta figure out your build-out cost for your studio, and that is not cheap. So let's say you find your location and you are ready to sign your lease. That doesn't mean you could just move in and just start recording. Most likely you're gonna have to demo the old structure completely and start from the ground up. So now we're talking about studding, sheetrock, insulation, and that's just for the walls. No one ever wants to think about utilities too when talking about studio costs. You have electric, which is gonna be huge.
This gap is quite wide. Let me measure it for you.
You're gonna be running stuff all the time, not turning things off. You also have internet and garbage bills. There's tons of stuff you're not even thinking about involved. And don't forget, every month you still have to pay your rent, which could be anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 a month. Finally finished! What's this? Rent? There's lots of other incidental costs that keep adding up. I'm constantly repairing things, sending things out for repair. Things are breaking, gotta replace stuff. It's never ending. Not to mention, you also have to have insurance for all of your gear and also if there's any accidents that occur on your premises. You also have to pay taxes. Another thing people don't really consider is the insane amount of time it takes to run your own professional studio. From my own personal experience, the first few years are the worst. You're probably gonna be at your place from around 12 to 16 hours every day. And if that wasn't enough, anytime you're home, you're probably gonna be pushing your business on social media and advertising. So obviously what that means is you probably can't have a 9 to 5 while trying to also run your studio. This may sound obvious, but a lot of your personal relationships might also take a hit as well. I've been really fortunate in my life, but not every significant other really understands the amount of time it takes to really grow a business. If I had $1 for every time I said I was gonna be home and then was 5 hours late, we wouldn't be making this video. Yeah, hon, we're just wrapping up now. Should be there probably in about an hour, so I'll see you then.
1 hour later.
Yeah, so he needed to do a few more takes of that solo, so it's gonna take me a little bit longer, but I'll probably see you in about an hour from now, I think.
2 hours later.
I think it's there. I think it sounds good now.
3 hours later.
Hey, I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, we're really done now. He just needed to do that vocal again, so I'm definitely wrapping up right now.
2,000 years later.
Hello? Hello? She hung up on me. And if by some miracle your session ends early, there's always something to fix or something else to do before you can leave. So let's assume you got the gear, you got the building, you're ready to go. Now you have to figure out how you're gonna get a client base. Don't expect people to be lined up waiting to get in your studio to work with you on opening day. It's probably gonna take you a few months or even years to get a full calendar. All right, open for business. In my studio. Anybody wanna record? In the beginning, you're probably just gonna have to work on one project at a time and make sure it's the best sounding thing you put out. Honestly, after doing this for almost 15 years, the best kind of advertising is word of mouth. So if your product doesn't stand on its own, you're not gonna get repeat business. And if you're just starting out fresh, how are you supposed to get new bands in here? And where are you supposed to find all these new bands? What about MySpace, LiveJournal, MP3.com, Last.fm? The good news is, if the bands liked working with you, chances are they might break up and split up into new bands, and hopefully all of them will come back to you. The third major factor to consider is, do you have people skills? Now this part's a little bit more tricky because honestly, not everybody's cut out to do this kind of work. So now, just because you bought all the right gear and you have a great facility, doesn't still mean that people are gonna wanna work with you. So in working with these artists, you have to be personable, you have to be really patient, you have to put out a good product, and you have to be fucking reliable. Being in a studio is a really personal experience, and people wanna feel comfortable in the environment. If you don't seem interested, or have a shitty attitude, and don't communicate with the artist well, they're definitely not coming back to you. I can't tell you how many times I talk to clients and they complain that the last producer they worked with just disappeared off the face of the earth and doesn't even talk to them anymore. Lastly, don't forget to show up, and probably don't show up f***ed up. I'm so toasted right now, bro. Another important factor is that you have to be really tech savvy to own a studio. When you get all this awesome gear, who do you think is gonna wire up all your shit? What compressor? Should I buy this compressor? Should I buy a whole wall full of Line 6 spiders? This thing is gonna sound amazing. If you're in the middle of a session and you can't figure out how to get signal from A to B, what are you gonna do? You gonna call somebody?
Yeah, I'm quick to call Kevin.
You should be really effective with your gear and know what everything does. That also includes knowing your DAW really well. If you're really slow and moving around the session, you're gonna look fucking stupid.
Fucking stupid.
So to wrap up, I just wanna say thanks for watching. I hope it was informative, but I don't want you guys to stress about the gear stuff too much. I started the studio with this piece right here. This was my, my Crate PA mixer. I used it for all my records for the first year until I had enough money from those records to buy better gear. And this is a piece of shit. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. If you've ever tested a 9-volt by licking it, click that subscribe button.